Hi, welcome back. I have another journal to show you, and I made this one specifically for someone who liked birds and pink and red. And I used a journal kit from Calico Collage called Sweet Elegance. I will link the previous video where I showed like a tiny sneak preview of what I was working on, but now it's completed. And I did this cover and everything pretty much from scratch. So this is just heavy cardstock, heavyweight scrapbook paper. It was a 12 by 12 sheet that I cut down, and then I backed it with another of the same paper and then stitched all the way around and distressed the edges. There's eyelet closure with twine, and then here on the spine there's some more baker's twine with a little bird charm tied on there. It's pretty easy to get it out of the way so that you can open it up and journal. There are 4 signatures. There's only 2, it looks like there's 2 stitched here on the spine because I actually did my technique of using the hot glue, and then I did stitch in some ribbon lace to kind of hold that together a little more because I made it a little too much on the chunky side. So this is the kit from Calico Collage, and I loved that it had a couple little birds in it, so I really picked up on that. And I tried to do a lot of big paper tags and a ton of sewing. So here's, you'll see sewing everywhere. This is part of the writing paper from that kit, and I put it all throughout the book, so there's a lot of journaling space. Here is a coloring book page that I added a sticker on, and I used Distress ink to watercolor it. I will also link that video about how I did that in the description box below or at the end. And then I got an entire collection of 1957, I think, children's books, like the Book of Knowledge, a whole set of them. So this is a page from Little Women, and I put that in there because these made me think of, you know, Joe and Meg and all of them. Just added a sticker here. For these pages, these are just white copy paper that I used Distress ink on. A collage there. Did a lot of sewing. Another page from those children's books. This is a bird page. Thought that went really well. Some more watercolored coloring book paper, and then I just added these from the collection on the edge there. Here's a tuck spot. You could put photos or whatever in there. This is Sweet Elegance, and then I stapled a little tag up here for a tab. A little key punch out on this distressed paper. Here's the other side of the Little Women page. This is Professor Bear and Joe's Boys, and Joe and Lori. Little Women was always one of my favorite books. I watercolored this with the Distress inks. This is from the collection, and I just went ahead and put it on this coloring book page here. This is another tuck spot, so you can journal and then you could stick something in here. Here's where I stitched in some lace in between the signatures. I don't think it's really lace. I'm not sure what it's called. I know it has a name, but I'm drawing a blank. Lots of stitching. This is just lined writing paper that I sewed. That's just paper clipped. I made this paper clip on here. Vintage 1950s children's dictionary page. From the kit. actually got a drop of glue on it. So the page is sticking. And if that happens, I'll just go back in and touch that up and add something on there because that got stuck. Okay, these birds are from the Graphics Fairy, and since she liked birds, I really wanted to, you know, focus on that. And then I added a bow punch and an enamel dot. This is just, I think this is from Michael's, some paper I had left in my stash from another journal, but it coordinated really pretty, distressed the background, stitched around this page from Sweet Elegance. This is a page of my cinnamon coffee dyed paper left over from a previous journal that I added in here, and then added a little ticket stub from the collection, an envelope from the collection, and then some lined stitched writing paper. And then this paper here was just from my stash, and I sewed, this is the middle of the signature, I sewed with my sewing machine on all of the main lines there to really add a ton of texture. This would be great for putting a photo on. It might be a little hard to write unless you write in between the stitched lines. The other side of the coffee dyed paper. I put a tuck spot here. This is from the collection. Sticker down here at the bottom. I added a lot of lace and buttons to this pages in this collection. The other side of that dictionary page, and I added some birds from the Graphics Fairy. Okay, this is an envelope from the Sweet Elegance collection that I glued on here, so you have a tuck spot on this side, and then this opens up with some more of the writing paper and another Graphics Fairy bird clipped on there. This is just a die cut from my silhouette. Clipped on here, these are from the collection. Some stickers on this distressed paper. I did some distress ink stamping on a few of them to make it look watercolored. A hymn book page from, I think, the 70s. Tag with a bird from the Graphics Fairy, some lace, distressing, stamping. This is one of my triple pocket that I made with another collection from Calico Collage. And then I just added some little coordinating tags and journal cards. I'll link that video as well on how I made this pocket. This paper was just from my stash. It's kind of a vintage children's paper. Some more stamping and distressing. Kind of a puffy sticker here. This is from the collection with some journaling space here. A flower I put on there. Another bird die cut placed over one of the papers from the collection. And then these are from the collection, journaling cards. And then I made this little flower I just clipped in there with it because it coordinated. This is a journaling card that I stapled on there, so you could have a tuck spot on both sides. There was a hole in my paper here where the water got a little too much and it tore through, so I just stitched back and forth, made a little bit of a patch, a little bit of stamping. Tuck spot with a journaling card. This isn't from the collection, it was just in my stash, but I did a little bit of sewing. I added it because of the bird, and she loves birds. This is from the collection, however, and I used that as a belly band. A little journaling card tip in from my stash. Another bird from the Graphics Fairy, and I placed it here so that the other side of this tag would close over it and you would see the bird. The other side of that hymn book page. Did stitching around her here. Another ribbon I stitched in between these signatures. Little washi and button down here. Banner and button up here. I zigzagged all around her picture. Added a button and lace to this old score sheet music here. More stitching on this distressed paper. Stitched around the stamped image on this page from the collection. This paper was in my stash, and then on all of these main lines I added different stitches. You'll see it better on this side. So this is the middle of another signature, lots of texture. More tabs. I stapled it up here so you could kind of tuck something in there. This is from the collection. Made a little corner pocket. This is from the collection, and then I just stitched around the top. Another Graphics Fairy bird. Puffy sticker. This is from the collection as well, this paper. Another die cut bird. And then a library card pocket in the back from the collection with the library card. And that's the end. It is chunky, but I left plenty of twine space, so no matter how chunky it gets, it will still close.